the meeting to order. And if we can all please rise for the pledge. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Thank you. I would like to make a
Our
motion.
technologist has confirmed that we are recording and live streaming.
Oh, okay.
Working tonight.
Excellent. I would like to make a motion to move the Board of Education meeting minutes from April 7th and April 21st. Motion? Gina, you got to go on unmute, and so do you, Linda. Sorry.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. All the other board members have to unmute because we can't hear their
They
eyes.
did.
Now, Jill has to unmute, and so does Butch.
Oh, and Butch and,
I did.
okay, thanks, guys.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion to move the claims audit report for March of 2020.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions with the statement of claims? I know, Linda, you had asked something before. Anybody else? Any questions?
No.
So I'd like to make a motion to move the statement of paid claims.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. That brings us to our good and welfare. I'd like to say we would like to say congratulations to Sandy Tannenbaum, teaching assistant at Chatterton School, on the birth of her grandson, Jordan. Justine Desjardins, teacher at Chatterton School, at the birth of her son, Travis. Ellen Margulies, teacher assistant at Lakeside School, on the birth of her granddaughter, Alexis. Paula Camlet, teaching assistant at Lakeside School, on the birth of her grandson, Henry. Andrea Fisher, teaching assistant at Lakeside School, on the birth of her granddaughter, Meadow. Janet Rader, typist clerk at Birch School, on the birth of her grandson, Liam. And Renee Boritz, teacher at Birch School, on the birth of her son, Penn. Condolences go to Joanne George Gillette. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. Georgie Glass, teacher assistant at Chatterton, on the passing of her mother, Margaret. Condolences to Nancy Russo, teacher at Chatterton School, on the passing of her sister, Marie. And condolences to Evelyn Judge, district bus driver, on the passing of her husband, Michael. That brings us to hearing of visitors on the items in the superintendent report. Dr. Palmer, did you get any emails?
There are no emails in the Board of Education meeting email box.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like
so
to make a
Nancy-
motion to approve items 9A 1 through 6.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I'd like to make a motion to approve items A 8, 9, and 10.
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve items E 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Motion.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Great. And that brings us to the hearing of visitors as well. And Dr. Palmer, you had
Still
said
no emails.
no emails. Okay. That brings us to the reports of the Belmore Merrick Central High School District. Gina, do you have anything to report?
Just that the high school district is working very hard every single day to keep the instruction going strong. Last weekend, they had parades at each one of the high schools to honor the seniors, and that was on Friday for college except, college
Decision day.
decision day. Thank you. We have no real decisions as of yet for end of the year activities, but that was coming in soon, and we will continue to keep everybody posted. The superintendent and all administrators are doing a great job as far as keeping people informed. And of course, our teachers and staff are doing a really amazing job keeping their students in touch and educating them during this difficult time. And both Nancy and I would like to thank everybody at the high school district, and that includes all of you guys, also them for all their hard work. That's it. Nancy, you have
Thank you.
anything to add?
Not to that, no.
Great. Thanks, ladies. Legislation, Linda, anything new going on?
Just a few things. I think, Dom, would you mind if I defer that to you since there is so
Well-
much in flux at the moment?
Sure, I think most of what's going on is actually going on by governor's order. The governor keeps on popping out a lot of orders. One of the things I wanted to highlight tonight that's key, well, actually two things. First off, as everybody knows by now, he has closed schools until for the duration of this school year. We are required to continue our continuity education plan, offer a feeding program if needed by individuals who are at need for that, and maintain an ability to provide childcare for those families that qualify. It's generally first responders, healthcare workers, things like that. We do that program through Scope. Scope has, I think it's 8 locations on Long Island that accept non-residents in their program. Anybody who needs that service can check on the Scope website, or they can go through our website to link to it to see if they qualify for it and apply for that service. That service is free to them. So he's continued those pieces. He has continued the component that these days don't get mixed into the typical 180-day school aid requirement. However, what we're going to see clarification on is if the directive that you use all your vacation days and all your emergency days still hold, as it likely does. If that is the case, well, we already went through all the vacation days by having continuity of education during spring break, but we do have an emergency day coming up right before Memorial Day. And we have our last emergency day would be actually the day after school was scheduled to end. If the governor's order still includes use of those, we will have to be open both of those days. And that's a component that we're exploring. In terms of other pieces of legislation, I think that, again, it's not really legislation, it's Governor's Act, revolves around the budget vote and the trustee vote. So we have been informed that the budget vote and trustee vote will be June 9th. Many of the parameters about notification have been adjusted backing in off that date, some of them shortened. I think one of the key pieces to know is that anyone who is applying to be a candidate must submit a petition. It does not have to have any signatures, but they have to have a nomination petition in order to be considered as a candidate. The other major component is that voting will only be by absentee ballot. This will cause the district to have to send out approximately 15,000 absentee ballots to our community. The cost is going to be pretty significant. That is borne by our school district. There is no state backfilling of that to any of our knowledge. And then people would then be able to use those absentee ballots to vote. It'll go to anybody who is currently a qualified voter. In addition, anybody who is not a qualified voter in the community currently, but would like to register, they can do so through the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicle website. There's an opportunity to register there. So that's some of the big stuff on the state level. On the federal level, there is strong advocacy to get federal support of the New York State budget as a whole and education specifically, in order to backfill some of the really drastic deficits in the state budget that are going on. I suggest that anybody who hasn't reaches out to their legislators at the federal level and urge them to push and push hard to get that money. I know that probably to a New York state legislature that's going on, but it's still worthwhile to do to show them your support. That's another big component. And in the state, you know, we are still greatly concerned about deficits in the New York State budget. The first measurement period for state revenue that came into the state coffers ended on April 30th. Someday in the very near future, we should be hearing from the Office of Budget about whether that will cause a reduction in our projected state aid and to what degree. The second measurement period ends the end of June. That would be another piece. So we're kind of on pins and needles waiting to hear about how our state aid might be impacted. So that's really kind of the sum total of what's going on legislatively.
Great, thank you so much, Dr. Parma. Reports of the board members. I just wanted to really quickly, before I even open it up to anybody else, I wanted to once again thank, on behalf of our Board of Education, wanted to thank all our first responders, our frontline workers, our nurses, doctors, supermarkets, food distributors. I mean, the list goes on and on, all of these amazing people that are going above and beyond to make sure that we have what we need, and more importantly, keeping us safe and healthy. A huge thank you to our teachers and all of our staff in all of our buildings for their continuous hard work. Of course, the administration as well. The leadership of our central office is unparalleled, and all of their hard work keeping our kids engaged, doing such an amazing job during this most difficult time of education. So thank you to all of you. And as our Board of Education continues to move forward, we wish and hope that everybody stays healthy, safe, and home, stay home. So, and then now I'll open it up to any other board members who want to make any reports or just anything on your mind.
Well said, Sagal. Well said. Thank
Yes, well said.
Yeah, I just want to echo, you know, what you said, Sagal. You know, we've talked about it collectively, individually. You know, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And, you know, I think we're a board that appreciates our teachers every day. But when you think about, you know, what's happening now in terms of, you know, our community, our country, and what kids are going through, you know, teachers are very much the best of first responders. You know, to be doing what they're doing is incredible. Even, you know, being at home with their own families and own challenges. I just speak to so many people who are grateful, and I know we all feel that way as well. So I just wanted to echo your comments too.
Yes.
Thanks, Nancy. Anybody else have anything to say? I know we all feel the same way, so.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely feel the same way. Cannot thank our teachers enough. They have done a remarkable job as always and have gone above and beyond. And we're in a very fortunate district, and I'm proud to be part of the Merrick School District.
So
We have
am
a
I.
great district and
Yeah.
we have a lot to be proud of. Our teachers are amazing.
Yes, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Any reports, any other reports or any new business?
Oh, can I just add one other thing?
Sure.
Just to highlight, you know, the work that, you know, Jill and Brooke Jones are doing through, you know, collecting money to honor, you know, first responders. And, you know, also just want to recognize a little boy that in our community that raised $20,000 in honor of his grandfather.
Yeah.
And all that, you know, being donated as well. I mean, these are exceptional stories that, you know, I hope we're collecting, because when we are back to, you know, normal and in person, whatever that means, I think somehow we should be celebrating, you know, the people in our community that are doing unbelievable things.
That's
So.
true.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nance.
Nicole, I got a couple new business things I just want to cover.
Great, yeah,
First
sure.
of all, I just want to echo everything the board said, and in this Teacher Appreciation Week, I know for sure from talking to my colleagues in other communities that we have probably one of the best elementary instruction programs going on all the time, but especially right now. Our teachers are putting together a program really that very few places can parallel at all. And that's both in general education and special education instruction. I get basically a couple of emails a day forwarded to me from principals or directly from parents, commending various teachers about the work they're doing. So our teachers are doing a fantastic job. And beyond, well, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, I really want to celebrate the whole faculty and support staff. Our mental health professionals, our librarians, our technology teachers, everybody in and out of the classroom really has been delivering an amazing program. The work that our mental health professionals did last week, delivering workshops individualized to each school, is amazing. You know, you all know that I'm involved with a variety of different mental health committees throughout the county. And when I tell people what we do, they're kind of all envious about what our mental health staff does. And they actually come to us for advice about where to go and use our resources. And also there's a lot of resources on a web page that they put together. So again, commending them. Our teaching assistants and aides are helping in, they're jumping into Zoom meetings to work with individual kids. It's very organized to get them involved with that. Our custodians are here. We have them on a rotating shift. They're not just sitting around making sure the building is fine. They're actually doing work during this whole period of time. And in the near future, they'll be kicking into a whole bunch of other things, which segues into what I also wanted to mention. So we are planning two things at this point. One is summer school. We are moving ahead in our planning in case we are allowed to open a rec program for summer school. We are moving ahead in our planning in case we're allowed to have a live special education summer school program. And we're moving ahead with an enhancement of a summer school program for special education students who otherwise wouldn't qualify for a 12-month program. We do not know if we'll be allowed to run any of those programs live. You know, right now camps are kind of, you know, anguishing over whether they'll be allowed to run. The governor had indicated that it will be, quote, later this month when he makes any decisions on that. But we're taking the steps to make sure that if we get the go ahead, we'll be prepared to run those programs. And if we can't run them live, the special education programs that are required for our students will be run virtually similar to this year. We'll be working with our providers and our parents on that. The other thing we're working on right now, I guess it's more than two things. We're also working on beginning our plans to close our buildings. So we are devising plans for how to return students' materials to them. So as you recall, it was a Friday way back in March, almost seems like years ago, where we told people, take all your stuff home because we're not coming in on Monday and Tuesday, and who knows what could happen. Well, we all know what happened. We've been closed. We're going to close continuously. So there is a number of student items in school that we're going to develop a plan for, and so that in the next couple of weeks, we have a mechanism for returning those. If there's anybody listening to this that's a parent and your child has medication in the school and you need that medication, and we've been putting this information out for a while, please email your school nurse and they will make those arrangements. And that's an immediate component. Along with closing up the buildings, moving out student materials, is also preparing all of our classrooms for closing for routine summer maintenance, but also for further construction. So our bids are out, waiting to come in very, very soon about interior work at Birch and Lakeside, exterior work at Birch, the bids are in, and exterior work at Lakeside will be coming in the next few days. If all those bids come in a satisfactory manner and within the limits that were placed in the original budgeting for the capital projects way back a few years ago, then we'll move ahead with those. And we're hoping that we can take advantage of this period of time when construction is basically shut down to have our construction running. As a government entity, we are considered an essential location, and most of our construction projects can move ahead during this closure period. So we're hoping that we get everything through and clarified, and some contractors will be available to start right away, which would give us more buffer on the far end of the year. And even besides that, we got to close out the classrooms so we can start the routine maintenance, stripping floors, things like that. And classrooms have all been sanitized a while back, but now summer maintenance has to go, and we'll re-sanitize it. And the final thing I want to mention is September may seem a long time away, but we've already begun the discussions about reentry. And those discussions will develop as we know more information about the likelihood of reopening on the beginning of the school year and what parameters we have to work on. So we have those things going. And the final thing I wanted to say is I'd like to thank the PTA. They've been very supportive to the administration, the district, and the faculty through this process. We had a meeting with our PTA presidents and principals on Monday, considering some of these things. The PTA will be organizing and meet the candidate presentation. It'll be virtual, and that more information will come out about that later on. So much planning also about end of year events, more to be probably released through principals as we move forward. And again, board, thank you for all your support. This has been a rough couple of months, but we're going to get through and we're going to be strong. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Don.
Dr. Parma. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Oh, sorry, Gina, yeah.
Dom, I would like to request that for the June meeting, if we can have an update from, I don't know, Jim virtually about the summer projects and which ones we're going to be going ahead with, especially the bigger ones. And how we doing at Chatterton, and what the plans for each school are, specifically. If we can have that update in June, just so we know what's going on.
Very
I
good.
guess besides the air conditioning, right?
Besides the air conditioning, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Great. Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.
Second,
Second,
all in favor? Have a great
Aye.
night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Stay safe.
Hey, everybody. Thank you.